42-0. The Aztecs, big winners in week 1 over Stony Brook. Want to thank you guys for joining the stream tonight. Hope all of you are having and have had a very happy and safe Labor Day weekend, of course. It's Mateo San Diego. You can find me at Mateo San Diego on X, all that good stuff. And of course, Sons of Monty, all over social media. I want to thank you guys for making this your listen for Aztec Sports. You cannot stop him. You can only hope to contain him. He is known for rocking the mullet once again. Started the season off rocking the mullet. I know you're doing it for Lindley, Coach Lindley again. So what's going on, Mr. Fiend?
Feels good, man. Feels good to get a victory. We have not been able to say that for a while. Especially to end the 2024 season. So it's always nice to get back in the win column. And, man, it was dominating. It was fun to watch.
Okay, so let's just get, let's get it out of the way. 6-game losing streak to end 2024. Like you said, man, that's last year. This is this year. Fresh 1-0 Aztecs, big winners. It's an FCS team. I get it, Fiend. If any of you guys watched our Gamers episode on YouTube, it was the simulation of EA college sports game, and it didn't look too good. It didn't look too good for the Aztecs. It got me a little worried just maybe the night before. But overall, I felt really okay going into this game. I felt like, okay, we're going to see what we saw at practice. We went to a couple of them, Fiend, and I think hearing the coach speak, it hasn't felt like coach speak much this season. Very different than last year, and we'll get into some of that stuff as well. Who stood out in this game, all that good stuff we're going to dive into. Of course, how it's going to affect this weekend coming up against Washington State. It's a big game coming up. We ranked all the games for the rest of the year after week 1, because week 1, there was a lot to learn, a lot to get excited about. What's one word that describes how you're feeling after week 1, Fiend?
Optimistic.
Good word.
Yeah.
Mine was hope. So I think we're along the same lines. Optimistic.
Yeah, no, I have a lot of optimism now for this team. Going into the season, yeah, they looked good, better than I've seen them play before. In the fall camp. You just never know. I mean, they weren't doing much tackling, and so I had some concerns about that because, that's something we really need to work on from last year. There were a lot of missed tackles, and so you just never know coming out the gate how they're going to play. And, we struggled last year coming out the gate against Texas Commerce, put them away in the second half. So, I kind of like to have these games where you play what people would call a cupcake just to get some experience, get those nerves out. And I was pleasantly surprised that they came out and just punched them in the mouth.
Yeah, I think that's a good word for that, because it was really a punch in the gut, punch in the mouth. I mean, 42-0. I would use the word hopeful because, like, we really didn't understand what we were going to see like you said, and for the majority of the fans that were there in attendance, they hadn't really stopped by practice to check it out. They're just going off of news reports, TV reports, all that good stuff. And I love what Coach said in the presser today. He had a presser today, and he was talking about how basically, they performed on the big stage, and it was what they expected. It was who they saw in practice. So, I have a lot of hope, especially for this offense coming in. Let's look at some of the stats, Fiend. Let's get into just the basic stuff on what we're looking and trying to keep an eye on. I mean, you talk about 12 drives total, and they scored on, well, a lot of them. They scored on, I want to say, 7 of them? So, 42 points. Jaden Denigal came out hot. The first 2 drives, touchdowns. Did it on the ground. Of course, Lucky Sutton had a terrific game. But Jaden Denigal, of course, at quarterback, we'll get into the running game, but Jaden Denigal at quarterback, I think that's what everybody wanted to see. How was he going to come out and perform? The arm strength was there, going through his reads, progressions, and all that good stuff. Of course, it helped. He had a lot of time to throw. He had a lot of time to throw. The offensive line set up a good pocket. So what was the one thing that jumped out to you? Was it the passing? Was it the running game? Was it the line? Maybe it was something else.
You're talking about on offense?
On offense.
Because what really impressed me was the defense, but we'll get to that. But yeah, on offense, I thought he made some really nice deep throws. I mean, that, in our preview, you saw that the video, you saw that dime that he threw to Donovan Brown. I mean, he dropped it right in the basket. Beautiful throw, and he's got an arm. It's just not sure like how accurate, that he can hit those, but man, he put that thing right on him. No one could have defended that pass. And so that was really impressive to me. The other thing is, I would say the line and the lack of like pre-snap penalties. I don't know what the penalties were overall, but it seemed like they were just more. Let's see. Oh, we did have 7 for 65, but we were constantly going over 100 yards last year. It seemed like.
Not all of those were offensive penalties either, though. There was a great penalty I enjoyed, but not all of them were offensive.
The ball. Is that yeah?
Yeah, we'll get into that.
Yeah, but I mean, so they're just playing. They look good as a unit. I was really impressed with that offensive line, and that's something that we saw in camp. That they were playing better, and they showed it in the game.
Did Jack Hawley call it or what? I mean, 38-0. We're getting there in the fourth quarter. I'm looking back at you like, we got a chance to kick this field goal 35-0, make it 38. Yeah. Jack's gonna hit his prediction right on the nose. And next thing we know, we're running in for what was like a 4th touchdown rush. And I look at Justin. He looks at me. He's like, "F your field goal. We got a touchdown, 42." So hey, not everybody was as confident. I'm glad we had Jack on. To some folks, it was like, what's he talking about? He knew what he was talking about.
Yeah, no, he did, and I think maybe we overanalyzed it. And a little bit, and I certainly was way off in my prediction. But he basically predicted a score that you would expect against an FCS opponent, and San Diego State did exactly what they were supposed to do, which was come out and crush this team.
Well, thank you, T-Mac. He's apologizing for his 35-7 prediction. Talking about predictions, we like you said, that was a score that you expect to beat a Stony Brook, a team that really nobody had really heard of. Come on, they've only been playing football since the 80s. So it was one of those situations where you had to win, and you had to win big. Otherwise, nobody remembers it. It doesn't really make a mark on the collective minds of San Diegans, and that's exactly what they did, 42-0.
Well, I think it got more than just the attention of San Diegans. I think there's other people around the country that are starting to take notice, because Stony Brook was ranked top 25 in FCS. I mean, take what you want from that, but that was a pretty convincing victory over what's supposed to be a pretty good team from the FCS. And so you are seeing more people, maybe not nationally, but around the Mountain West, say, "Hey, watch out for the San Diego State team. They look pretty good."
Well, we'll get into what impressed you about the defense, but I want to stick on the offense a little bit because there's no mystery. I mean, this is what we wanted to see coming into this week 1. It didn't matter if it was Stony Brook, if it was Fresno State, if it was Washington State. It didn't matter. We wanted to see this offense at least be efficient, be competent, and they were more than that. And that's what gave me hope, man, is just being able to see. I guess, it was a little surprising, the versatility of the team. I wrote an article detailing the offense and just, showing the, how do you say, just the potential. And I know we like to throw that word around a lot, right? But really just showing the potential of what this offense could be. We talked about the offensive line, providing Jaden with that time. Jaden went down. He went down, dude. You're thinking, oh, Jaden, he's got a big arm, a big athletic kid. He's gonna be out there from Michigan man, right? Coming in, all that stuff, all the hype. And then he runs out, terrific runner from the pocket, goes down a little awkwardly, and you're thinking, oh man, I got a text from Andy. He's like, quarterback's hurt. That situation is exactly why you have Alberto Manuel Jr. on this team. And not to say that, because we talked very candidly, we thought Jaden was the obvious number one, right? But Bert came in, handed the ball off a few times, right? Later in the game came in. He was 3 of 4 in passing. He had some excellent runs out of the backfield, that's his game. That's what he does. But knowing that they're two athletic quarterbacks, there's not going to be such a drop off in play calling and in style of this offense if Jaden were to go down. I think they brought Bert as a project to really develop him as a passer and his well-rounded game over time. So it's going to be a little work in progress with him, but seeing him go down, Jaden that is, and seeing Bert come in, he handled himself very well within the offense, within that efficiency and everything they were trying to do. So that was hopeful for me as well.
Yeah, no, he did. He played great for the time that he was in there. They weren't really challenged. I wouldn't say a whole lot as far as like down and distance, where you're in 3rd and long situations and you got to throw the ball down the field, but that this is just a great tune-up for next week, and both quarterbacks played great.
I will say this, when it came to the receivers as well, that was a little bit of a, I don't want to say eye opener, but another thing that just kind of gave me some hope, right?
Yeah.
Of course, guys aren't always going to have busted coverages to where they get behind the defense like that. They're like, Bostic. No, well, yeah.
He had
and that was a terrific.
Yeah.
That was a terrific play by Jaden, right? Drawing the defense off sides, and then just back there, hey, all right, nobody's going to cover him. He had 2 guys, split. That safety defender was like, oh shoot, which one do I cover? And Jaden made it happen, connected with Bostic. But to Bostic's credit, he went up and grabbed one of those pass catches that was very much in traffic, went up and got it, came down. Fantastic play by him. So I know a lot of people are scratching their head. Even in the presser today, some of the media members were asking Coach to expound on who he was because he was hurt most of fall camp.
Right. Yeah, we didn't see him a whole lot in fall camp. And when he was in there, he was playing with the 2s. And so you speak to the optimism, the depth at the wide receiver position is an eye opener, which is great. I mean, we kind of thought it was sort of down to like 2, maybe 3 guys that would sort of carry the load for this team, but they show they've got some guys that they can bring off the bench if needed. And so, yeah, I mean, anytime you have depth at your positions, you're 2 deep, that's what's going to carry you through the season, because injuries are going to happen. You just don't know to which position group and when, and you got to have depth. And so that was great to see that those receivers, make plays. All of them just out there making plays.
I know you brought up that pass to Donovan Brown, the deep pass, which was like probably the deepest pass of the night, which was really nice. And it was nice to see them take a shot down to Jerry McClure as well. He drew the pass interference call, but they took a shot down there, and they were willing to stay in attack mode in that second half. In the danger zone, they stayed on attack mode. All these things, and even in the article, it took me a while to. I forgot about Jordan Napier. I got to bring his name up. You don't forget about him in the game, but just when you look back on the offensive performance, it's like, okay, Napier had a quiet night, but it was a very important night. Some of those receptions down near the goal line, you just see him. He runs different when he's noticeably very different in his route running, in his pass catching, in his runs after the catch than anyone else. He just stands out on the field.
Yeah, no, definitely. And sometimes, when you're the best receiver, you're going to get more attention than the other guys on the other side of the field. So it's I don't know if that was the case and why maybe he didn't he didn't have like a major breakout game receiving wise, but he was certainly great as a punt receiver. So someone that I didn't want back there because I don't want him to get him injured, but man, he had a heck of a punt return. So all-purpose player. I mean, just he's a playmaker. Put him on the field, he's going to make plays.
I'm calling it, dude. He's taken one to the house this year, at least one. He's taken a punt return to the house. I mean, you just see it. He's receiving some of those punts that you're just like, oh, dude, take a fair catch. He's reversing field. He's just taking
the speed,
chances.
The vision, yeah,
incredible. Okay, can we talk a little bit about the running game, because I know that's something I'm already seeing in the chat. The fans they were impressed by a 200-yard performance. Over 200 yards performance on the ground. And that's what we do at State. That's what we've built our reputation offensively, right? For so many years, it was like, man, we are RBU. We've got the dynamic running game, power running game. If we could just add that passing game to it, to a next level, this offense could be very, very, very explosive. Well, over 200 yards, okay, against an FCS team that was clearly overmatched by our offensive line. I mean, our offensive line is so big and physical. They came out and did what they needed to do. Lucky Sutton gets his real first opportunity at being the guy, and 20 carries, 100 yards, touchdown. Just seeing him out there do his thing was refreshing. It was great to see him get that chance, and didn't take much for him to just downhill runner. Tough to bring down, and I'm looking forward to him. Looking forward to that matchup coming up this weekend.
For sure. And the other thing is no turnovers, right? These guys aren't putting the ball on the ground. That's huge, were there any turnovers in this game? I don't think there were.
None. So no turnovers either team.
Clean game by both teams. So it's good to see your backs all averaging over 4 yards a carry about, and not putting the ball on the ground, and they just did a great job of just keeping drives alive, moving the chains, keeping that defense off the field so they could do what they do when they get when they got on the field. So it was encouraging for sure.
Getting back to that running game, thank you again, T-Mac. Having these quarterbacks that can add in that running game, that RPO game, you heard it on the highlights, before we started the episode. I mean, he was so excited. There's that RPO game. That's an element that we didn't have last season. Props to Danny O'Neal too, man. Did you watch that Wisconsin game? They pulled out that victory somehow, and he got in there.
Oh wow!
He led Wisconsin to the victory, right? In a way, he had a bad pick as well, but props to him. That wasn't something we had with him last year. He wasn't able to do that with these quarterbacks, with these running backs. Of course, Christian Washington talking about a really nice run. He probably had the nicest run of the night.
That cut that he had.
Oh yeah,
the lateral cut. I mean, yeah, it was.
And very different running style than Lucky.
Yeah,
very different.
Yeah, Lucky's more of a north-south runner, I would say, and Christian can really shift and move and change directions like pretty quick.
Senegal did have 2 potential interceptions. Talking about turnovers,
yeah.
If he throws those picks, I mean, it's not changing the game. We're still dominating this game. There's no doubt in my mind. But it takes a lot of the shine off of his performance. I think you're walking away like, oh man, okay, well, maybe it's going to take a little longer to get in sync with these receivers. So it's a game of inches, man. It's a funny ball. But I think he was doing the right things in the game, right? He was looking for the right guys. Probably a couple throws he would want to have back.
Yeah, and I think both of them were over the middle, if I remember correctly. And either they were just thrown late, or they're just not accurate. That's the thing with Denegal. We saw that in fall camp, right? He made fabulous throws like he did to Donovan Brown. But then he would have a stinker that, got picked off. And so he's by all means not a polished quarterback yet. Like he's still a work in progress. I mean, he's still, I think, the best option that we have, but he comes with his flaws. Like there's going to be turnovers for sure, this year. I mean, we're not immune to that. So he's got to do a really good job of, reading defenses and making good decisions and throwing the ball away when it's not there instead of forcing it.
Yeah, definitely something we saw in camp, and against FBS team. You got to think at least one of those is going to get picked, at least.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Okay, should we change our attention to the defense, man? Because that was, like we said, a goose egg, man. And that was what you were most impressed by. I don't know if it was what I was most impressed by, to be honest with you. It was something I was hoping for, expecting. I mean, I think maybe my score prediction gave them 2 touchdowns, but how do you say? Seeing them out on the field and doing what they do is like, okay, they should be doing this. What surprised you the most about the defense and this goose egg performance that they had?
Well, for sure the run game, especially up the middle. I mean, they stuffed Stony Brook, and they're All-American preseason, All-American running back, who I actually was pretty concerned about. The guy's like 6 foot, 235.
He's a big.
We were soft up the middle last year. That was a big problem for us. And so I could see how that could potentially have been a problem. The way I was looking at the game, they did fantastic containing the running backs, stopping them at the line of scrimmage. They weren't getting pushed back like, 3, 4, 5 yards off the line of scrimmage, creating these big holes for running backs to go through. And our linebackers came up huge too. Both Tano and Owen had, a ton of tackles, and just everyone was doing a great job of flying to the ball. And so that the run defense was really, really impressive. How many yards did they have total rushing?
Total rushing,
49.
Yeah.
49 yards. That's a great night. And then the other thing that really impressed me was the pass rush. And not just Trey, because we expect that from Trey. But I said in the last episode, I believe I said it, that this team really has the potential to be special if there's other guys who can win their one-on-one matchups and get home. And we saw that a couple times. August Salvati, the transfer from FAU, right? Who else was in on that? There was another guy, I forget. Is it Finau? No, I can't remember. But anyway, there were a couple guys who had just really fantastic games beside Trey, and Trey got double. We knew he was going to get doubled, but you cannot keep, you can only keep one back there to block. I mean, they got guys going out for routes, and so our other guys got home. That was impressive to me, and so getting that pressure on the quarterback and the defensive backs, they did what they needed to do to shut down the receivers and give our guys enough time to get home.
Probably referring to Ryan Henderson there on the defensive line. Looks like he had a couple tackles and a tackle for loss. I know he was getting his head down in there.
Jared Batty, he was a surprise too, because transfer from Illinois. I mean, really hadn't seen much noise from him in the camp, and so knowing that we have some guys, on that line, and some depth is just fantastic, because they're going to rotate in probably 3, 4, defensive ends during the game. And if all of them can be productive, it's going to be exciting to watch.
Really excited for Owen Chambliss. He's battled, especially last year, but really battled through some nagging injuries. And I know for a fact it was it's very frustrating. You can't get out there on the field, especially last year, so to see him have that game one, and in the post-game presser, man, just very impressive to hear him talk. He had a sack as well. I want to say 5 tackles along with Tano Latuli, 5 tackles. So as those 2 starting linebackers, they were all over the place.
Yeah.
And one of the things they really hinted at was just having that superior communication on the defense. All guys are very familiar with each other now. Second year in the program, that communication level, it seems like that's been turned up, and it's really given them a boost. You listen to them talk, and especially talking about Coach Ulrich. I mean, his first chance to be the DC, first game, and they don't let up a point. There's something to be said about like the coaches and really what they mean to these guys, these players. As I was listening to Owen talk, it sounded like I was listening to Coach Lewis, man. I mean, it's one game, it's one win, right? Haven't accomplished much. They've got a whole season to prove it. But if there's a sign that you look towards, are the players taking on that personality of your head coach. Wins and losses, okay, I get it. It's going to be what it is. But when you have that happening, you know that those players are bought in. They are eating everything up that's being poured into them. And we've heard nothing but the contrary, Fiend. I mean, our interviews with Tano and Trey, and then just listening to the other guys, I mean, they talk about connectedness. You talk about being their true, authentic selves. I mean, Coach Lewis and the staff has really been tying into this togetherness, getting the team to be on one page. And when you hear that, they believe that what they're doing out there on the field is exactly what they should have been doing. So really cool to hear, especially for Owen Chandler. It's really cool to hear that and see that performance.
For sure, especially with all the injuries that he went through last year, to be out there healthy, making plays, and just a testament to the leadership with these guys. We've got great leaders on the field, and you're right. They are an extension of the head coach. And it feels like this team is just a lot different than last year. Last year, it seemed like the team was going in opposite directions. And this year, it just seems like the whole team is just really united and they're moving in one direction. And I can't wait to see what comes next.
The only downer on defense that I could say, how could you say it? I mean, it's 0 points, right? But you said it. I mean, no turnovers, right? And I know that's going to be a focus for this year. They've got to create turnovers. All the pressure on the defensive line, going to double Trey, all that good stuff. But they do got to turn the teams over, especially when you get into FBS play. So, any thoughts on special teams? I know we talked about Jordan Napier already. Gabriel Placencia nails again. Punting, I was very impressed with the punter, dude. I'll be honest with you, man. I was pretty impressed. He had some good hang time on the few times that he did punt.
52 yards a punt. I mean,
yeah, man.
That's quintessential San Diego State special teams punting. I mean, I'm not willing to call him the punt god yet, but
no, you got to go blast somebody for that. You got to make a couple tackles.
He had a long 67.
Yeah,
true. I don't know how he hits. Yeah. But no, he had a long of 67. So that's in the territory, right? That's in punt god territory. It may not be an 80-yarder, but that's pretty good. And then Placencia, nails long of 42, 2-2, doing what he does. And so good job on special teams.
Hey, man, all things are good when it's a victory, right? We're all in good spirits. All in good spirits. All right, Fiend, let's take this quick moment to just encourage all you guys to check out the online shop, sonsofmontezuma.com. We have our custom apparel, of course, hats, tees, women's clothes, drinkware. You can even check out footwear, and, of course, our NIL shop. Got some more things coming down the pipe this season. Of course, one of our newest items is the Danger Zone. You guys have heard it from Coach. Well, I think we're going to take a little credit. Our tailgating crew, the Danger Zone. It's something that our crew's been doing for the last few years. Shout out to Leland. And, they sit behind the south end zone, making all the noise down there, trying to keep the game fun down there in the south end zone. You can pick up your Danger Zone t-shirt right now. sonsofmontezuma.com. That is the shop. I got my shirt on. I got my frat boy summer shirt on.
Got mine on too.
Oh man, I'm exhausted, man. Out there in Mission Bay yesterday, dude. Just jet skiing and enjoying the warm water, dude. There was a big San Diego State party yesterday at Mission Bay, dude. It was wild. It was like I want to say at least 300 people just
Wow.
gathered around a couple pop-up tents. They had the DJ music going. I know it was a fraternity. It was a fraternity party down there in Mission Bay. Some of you guys know what's up.
And that sounds fun. Did you crash it?
I didn't have any Sons of Monty gear, no Aztec things, but shout out to Rick Torado in the chat, man. Thanks for letting me jump on your wave runner, dude. That thing was dope. Okay, Rick, what do you got to say? You let me get out there on the wave runner. So if the run game is our offensive strength, Rick says, how does it match up against Washington State's defense? Ooh, we're gonna get into that, Fiend. Hold that thought, because that's gonna be next in the second half of this episode, Rick. So hold on to that, Rick. Let's have a little fun, Fiend. You down to have a little fun? We're fun guys. Yeah. Okay. The best of week 1 in college football is here. We're gonna talk all about it, man. I don't know if you guys have seen the best of week 1, but we've got it for you. What do you think about the worst punt that we've probably ever seen?
Go ahead, see Matt Campbell trying.
Let's see this. That is definitely not punt god material. Now look at this play. I don't really watch Villanova football. They're FCS, right?
Yeah,
they're a basketball school.
Right.
But look at this play by their quarterback down there in the red zone. He's rolling out.
They're throwing it, Steve. Daniel Smith will run. He's
throws it on a somersault, whatever that was, dude. That was incredible.
Was that? Did he do that on purpose, or did it get knocked out?
I can't. You make the call. Let us know in the comments, guys. Did he do this on purpose, or was this like a kumite move from kickboxing?
With Daniel Smith taking it, out. Throwing it, Steve. Daniel Smith will run. He's taking
it. Kind of looks like he did throw it up.
He threw it up in the air. It's caught. Wow.
Hey, he got it to him somehow, man. That's better than a Phillip River pass.
He got rid of it just in time.
He was going to get sacked as he gets ready.
That's a Sports Center top 10. Oh, the duck.
The duck lost his head in Oregon, dude. We got to see that. He just left it on the ground, and then he runs away with headless.
Bring the Ducks.
Look at him running too. Duck walking to the locker room.
It's like waddling with those big old duck feet. Like, I think that was set up. I think that was fake. Honestly, I think it was staged.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, probably. Leave it to Oregon. Bunch of phonies. Okay, now I know you tweeted this out, and I don't know if anybody else has seen this, but Texas State, to say that they are excited about joining the Pac-12 is an understatement, dude. I mean, look at this. On the field, no fireworks show, right? We talked about Sky Show in San Diego and how much we missed that tradition. Texas State put on a drone show. I sped it up, but it's much slower in real life, but I sped it up, man.
Dude, I love everything that Texas State is doing.
Shout out to the Win Now or Get Bent podcast. Clef is the host there for Texas State football. He posted this out, so shout out to him for releasing it. But just an awesome drone show, man. That thing is sweet. Eat 'em up. Eat 'em up.
We had every single team on there from the Pac-12. that was a huge. I can't believe how excited they are. That's awesome. I love it.
Okay, we gotta take a look at this because
the tuba player.
The tuba player. Now, I affectionately named this the Texas Southern tuba 2-piece because the tuba player is still playing. And look at this. Whoever this fan was, I don't know if it was the opposite team's fan. He serves them up a little something nice with a 2-piece. Wow, he's playing the tuba. Bam, bam, bam.
And he's still playing. Playing the notes with his left, and he's knocking dudes out with his right.
And the dude didn't even move. He took like three knuckle sandwiches to the chin. Anyways, shout out to that tuba player. Okay, Fiend, moving on. New Mexico, Michigan. Have you seen this one yet?
I've not, no.
Now, you got to keep your eye on New Mexico's offensive linemen. Now, hey, they're the running Lobos. They're the running Lobos, right?
Ninth play of the drive. Handoff, Humphrey.
Oh, I did see this one.
Look at 78. Look at 78 with the big shove. And then the Wolverine comes back over. He takes off the opposite field at least 10, 15 yards back.
He's the one that got the cheap shot in, too.
Oh, God.
Then he
Should be
backed up
ashamed
and
of
ran
yourself.
away.
What a
Lobo Larry, you should be ashamed of yourself.
What a pussy. That's so embarrassing for New Mexico.
A little drama.
Retreat. Okay, but that's not as despicable as Georgia State player snatching an
Pre-game, Ole Miss was
player's
entering
chain.
its locker room, and Tyler Scott, defensive back for Georgia State, decided to snatch somebody's chain. And not only that, but he decided to do it for Xavier Harris. Law enforcement got involved.
Oh, man.
Del McGee, their head coach,
And then he
was
throws
not
the chain,
at all
dude.
happy. You see the chain in his hand, decides to
The chain snatchers. Georgia State change snatchers, man. That's terrible. That's terrible. Okay, this video was posted by SDUT. Kurt Kenny, you see it there? This was at opening kickoff for the Aztecs feed. Now, we were there. We were in attendance. We sit somewhat in the same section. It felt like there were more people there at the time. But, hey, this is the real video from the SDUT's beat writer, right? So there's no mystery here. We got to get more fans in the stadium, Fiend.
I don't know what else you can do other than win, and the administration has to change the ticket pricing. I don't know if they're able to do that, but it's just – I feel like we're beating a dead horse here. I mean, every year we tell them you're charging way too much for tickets, you know. And when it comes to, like, when it gets to the point where you've got the beat writer for the Union Tribune in his article pleading with the administration saying do something, like that's a real problem. You know,
I did not read that. I did not read that.
Oh yeah, it was 3 thoughts. It was an article. It was like 3 thoughts on the game, and at the very end, it's like do something. So they don't feel. No one feels like they're listening. No one feels like they're doing anything, taking any action to try to get more people in the stands.
It's got to happen.
When you look at the ticket prices on Ticketmaster for a family of 4 for the Colorado State game, and they're $80 each. That's $320 for a family of 4, plus $40 in parking, plus the high-priced concessions. Who's going to pay those prices?
Well, I know we are.
Well, the diehards are, but your casual fan in San Diego is not going to pay those prices. So, it's just it's a shame what has happened and how inept this administration has been in responding to this. It literally is at the point where it feels like they would rather sell the tickets for a higher price and have it be empty than to lower the prices and have a filled stadium.
Now I'm seeing John in the chat. He says, "Can you share your feedback about fan attendance to the administration?" Fiend, do you think that's something that we can do? I mean, maybe we should create a podcast.
I mean,
I'm just messing with you, John. I'm just busting your balls a little bit. But listen, the administration is very well aware of Sons of Montezuma and what we do. The administration, don't take me there, Fiend. Don't put me there, Fiend. Don't push me to the edge. They know very well what we do. I don't think we're saying anything wrong. I think we're just being passionate fans, and we want to see this thing change. We want to see this thing increase. So, we started a podcast.
Do something.
Yeah.
It's frustrating. I mean, and I'm tired of talking about it. I just want to focus on the football and the team and, winning games. That's all I want to focus on. I don't want to talk about how our stadium looks like a ghost town.
T-Mac has got a point there. That stadium fee, that construction fee for season ticket holders, he says it's crazy. He said, I already have basketball, so I declined football. And I get where you're coming from. I think it's a little naive for us Aztecs football fans to not expect the prices to have gone up after getting a brand new structure built, right? Prices were definitely going to go up. But once we beat this thing over the head, once the Pac-12 didn't happen, the original Pac-12, you gotta shift some things. You gotta change some gears. Snapdragon is plenty successful with tons of events. So they're doing well. SDFC, they're a playoff soccer team. there's a lot of money coming in. That's not a problem. Season ticket revenue doesn't completely go to football either. So it's one of those things where you can lower the prices. I'm pretty sure there's wiggle room. If there isn't wiggle room, forgive me for not knowing, but there needs to be adjustments.
At this point, it makes me think that there is something that we don't know about, that there is a reason why they can't drop prices. Whether that is they have an agreement with the bank on the loan that they can't drop a price, or, the company that they sell tickets through season tickets through, they have to sell it at a certain price. Contractually, I think that's the only thing that makes any sense, in that they're not able to drop prices during the season.
Yeah, same here. There must be something, obviously. I mean, believe me, we don't know much. I'll be the first one to tell you, hey. And to John, all good. He says he figured maybe we have access to decision makers because we interviewed Trey and Tano. And, to the players' credit, I give all the players the credit. They've been gracious to come on this show many times, whether it's football, basketball, other sports. And, I greatly appreciate that, because we don't have any inroads. We don't have any access to.
And I feel bad for the players, because they deserve better. When they have performances like this, where they don't. Now I get it. This is on the heels of a 3-9 season, right? You can expect attendance to be down, right? And it may take a few games for people to finally wake up and see, oh, this is a good team. Yeah, I want to go check them out, right? But is the price going to be right? 13,560 people were actually at that game. 13,000. Yeah. That's terrible. And so we need to improve.
And I will say this, a lot of credit go to the coaches, especially Coach Lewis. I mean, he is saying all the right things, doing all the right things, doing everything that he can as a coach, right, to market this team, and really being gracious about the fans. You know what I mean? I mean, you gotta be. But to his credit, he's saying all the right things. He really appreciates the fans, the ones that are there. It's a family fun environment. I think he can only do what he can do, say what he could say. But credit to him and the players. They've said all the right things, man.
Oh, yeah.
They really have.
Yeah, no,
it's not easy.
Does not fall on the players or the coaches, at all.
Well, they got to perform. You got to perform.
They're doing their part. They got to perform.
You got to do your part. Right. is winning games and focusing on football. They shouldn't have to worry about the marketing or any kind of promotion or ticket pricing. Their job is the biggest one. You got to perform on the field and win. But in relation to the ticket pricing and all that stuff, no. Okay, let's move on. Let's keep moving forward, because there's more fun to be had. And this was probably one of the funnest.
His life.
Man.
Over the past, couple of years. I mean, God, I'm so fun. Happy. Exactly. I don't think Coach probably said too much to him after that play. Just let him have the fun, and good for him. I'm glad he had that moment.
So that's it, guys. That's the best from week 1 that I saw, man. Hope you guys enjoyed that. Man, anytime we talk about that fan stuff, it gets me, man. It gets me too riled up. It gets too fiery, too much Aztec fire when it comes to
that. Well, and it's hard being a fan too, like a diehard fan, because then you see other fan bases dunking on us because we don't have anyone in the stands, and that's frustrating as a fan. I take a lot of pride in this school and this program, and I don't like to be treated like that, and so the administration's got to work with everyone. We all got to be working together to build this thing up, build it back up.
Well, we're doing our part. We have a lot of fun there at the tailgate. We like to highlight those things. Yellow lot. So for any of you guys who are at the games, definitely come by the Yellow River Park lot. We are spots, I want to say 69 to about 74 or something like that. Maybe a little lower, 66 all the way to 72 or something like that. But we have a good time down there at the River Park. It's a great scene, man. We had a blast down there. So encourage all you guys, if you haven't made an Aztec game, come on down.
Come by our tailgate, say hello. We're all really friendly. Want to meet you guys. So just come by, say hello, and let's have a good time.
All right, let's get things moving on because time is of the essence and it's getting a little late on your Labor Day. Everybody's got work in the morning, but we want to thank you guys for joining the stream. We've had a lot of fun, man. This is a pleasure we get to do this thing. So, okay, Rick, back to Rick's comment because Washington State's coming up on Saturday. I believe that's a Saturday night. I was teetering whether I was going to make this road trip. It's not something I decided on making. A couple other road games, and of course, this will be a Pac-12 regular matchup for the foreseeable future. So, plenty of opportunities to go to Wazoo. Okay, if the running game is our offensive strength, how does it match up against Washington State's defense? I think it matches up very well. Of course, Washington State barely, they clinched their way past Idaho at home, mind you. They barely won. What was that score, dude? It was like 13-10?
13-10, and it should have been the Vandals, Idaho Vandals. They turned Washington State over late in the game.
Yeah, they did.
And they had a chance to go up 14-10, and they couldn't put it in the end zone, so they kicked a field goal, and then Washington State went down the field and had a really nice drive, and they got a last-second field goal. But, yeah, much closer than I think they thought it would be.
Now, does that change how you see this Washington State game previous to the year? Because, okay, everybody's talked to us about it, over, 60, almost 70 new players, something like that. New coach, different quarterback. I mean, it's a brand new everything. I think they come from South Dakota State, or was it something like that, right? So I think coach is familiar with their style, those neck of the woods. Yeah, I think we're going to be able to have some success on the ground and open up some things. This performance we just had, it gave me a lot of hope. Seeing Washington State's performance gave me even more expectation that, you know what, we need to get in there. We need to win this game. But it is Washington State still. They're at home. It's not going to be an easy game. Idaho, I get it. We always talk about the Weber State game and how we barely beat Weber State. And then the following week, we go into the Rose Bowl and defeat UCLA. So that jump from week 1 to week 2 is a thing. Coach addressed it in the presser a little bit today. But I'm feeling a lot more confident than I was at the beginning. That's for sure.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, going into the season, I thought this was a definite L on the Aztecs record. But now seeing what we did and then seeing what they did, and give Idaho credit. I mean, they are like a top 10 FCS team. They're like Weber State was the year that we played them. Great defense. It was a very defensive game. And so, but I think we do match up well with Washington State. I mean, they were giving up 4.2 yards per carry, and we can, if we can run the ball, that's going to be, I think that's going to favor us. And on the other end, I mean, I don't think they get 3 rushing yards.
They could not
3
run
rushing yards
worth a lick. Yeah,
right. And our strength is our pass defense, those defensive backs. So I like the matchup. I like our chances in this game. It's always hard to go on the road, and if you looked at their stadium too for an opening game, it was packed. So it is going to be a raucous environment there, especially when you got a new rival coming in, right? We're both going to be in the Pac-12 next year. And so I'm sure there's a lot of fans from Washington State who are excited to see, okay, who is this San Diego State team? And it's going to be like a conference rivalry game. So it's not going to be easy. It's definitely going to the Palouse is tough. Tough environment, but I do like how we match up with them, and I think we could have some success and pull out a win. I think it probably will be close, but we might be able to get a win.
I'm with you. I think it is going to be close. There's just a different energy when a team like what you're saying, that Pac-12 future partner is coming in. There's going to be a different energy on campus all week. They just escaped a near disaster, right? So they got a new leash on life, excuse me. So they're ready. They're ready for this game. They're going to be hammering into those students' brains on what they need to do in this game plan. I mean, there's a big difference preparing for Idaho. There shouldn't be, but there is. These are college players. These are it's an emotional game, first off, and they're going to be focused for Aztecs. Absolutely. So I'm expecting a very different energy from their fans, from the players, and the coaches are really going to hammer it into them. So I think definitely be close.
Yeah, and we might be catching them at the right time. They're kind of in a transition year like we were last year. And we're just, we're a year more of a cohesive group, that's been able to gel. And so, hey, let's take advantage of it, because they were really good last year with that John Mateer who transferred to Oklahoma. And now that, there's just so many moving parts with that team and people transferring in and out. To me, it's like it's blood in the water. Let's go eat.
It's one of those things where, last year is last year. It doesn't matter. But last year they had Mateer, and we still almost beat them. We were there. We had them on the ropes at home. Should have got that dub. It doesn't matter who's at quarterback. Doesn't matter who's coaching. The Aztecs have to come into this game looking at that helmet, looking at those jerseys, and remembering that's the team we should have beat. That's the new rival we need to create. So they got to come in jacked up themselves. Forget about what Washington State's going to do, whatever they're coming in, new leash on life, right? But it's about what we do. It's about what the Aztecs do. I'm confident they're going to go in there. They're going to be focused and be accountable. Whatever Aztec Fast acronym breaks down to. But I think they're going to be ready, man. It's going to be a fun one to watch. We got to decide on where we're going to watch that, man, if we do a little watch party somewhere here down in San Diego. What do you guys think? Let us know in the comments. Where should we gather together and watch this game? I'm thinking maybe A.L. Smith, maybe McGregor's. Those are two of the staples we like to go to. Sons of Money. We will see. Debating, we'll see if we get a little bit more deeper into discussion about Wazoo this week. Not sure or not. One thing we know is we will have the gamers doing another simulation on EA College Football 26, so we can probably have a little bit more of an accurate read on this simulation. Of course, the updates are weekly, right? Stony Brook didn't even have a team on the game. Somebody created that. So whatever we saw last week, I thought it was hilarious. The guys did a great job talking about that game, and we actually lost. So it was like, oh shoot. Well, this week playing against Washington State, it's a little personal for Sean and John, of course, are spitballers. They're back on the gamers. They gave me the green flag. It's a little personal because Sean's brother went to Washington State. So that should be a fun one. You guys definitely check that out.
Definitely gonna be fun. And Darian Dalton, transferring to Washington State. I mean, that's going to be exciting to see. Him play. I mean, he was an Aztec it's a shame that he moved on. I really liked him and just how passionate he was about being a San Diego State Aztec. But, we've always had, good times with his family at, tailgates, and they've been very welcoming. And so kind of wish I was making that road trip, up there, and see him. But I'm sure he's really excited to play his former team.
Shout out to the Dalton family, man. Gonna miss those ribs. Those ribs, man.
For sure.
That probably was the sticking point where I was like, oh man, I want to go, check out the Palouse. But
Donnie was gonna have those ribs going.
Man. Oh, I love the comments. Okay, Paul asks, do we think the Aztecs held back the playbook a little against Stony Brook? I think that's for sure. For sure. You're wanting to start something, that offensive cohesion, you're gonna put some things out there. So I think that's for sure. I don't think you need to say too much more about that. Oh, man. Big O's in the chat. Any fun and exciting places to have a watch party in North County, San Diego? Any North County Aztecs got any recommendations? Let us know. I know there's a lot of Aztecs in North County, so that might be something we do in the
we haven't
future.
Really gone up to North County for a watch party. That'd be kind of cool to do that.
A lot of Aztecs in San Marcos, Escondido area. I know Temecula, all that area. So that'd be really cool. Really cool. Don't want to get into any picks or anything like that, Fiend. I think we'll have plenty more time to talk about Washington State. But this is an opportunity game. Got to go on the road. First road test of the season. Washington State is ripe for the picking. Like you said, blood in the water. Love that. And you win that game, you get a week off to prepare for Cal. And we all saw Cal. They dispatched Oregon State with a true freshman quarterback. So they're plenty talented.
That was a surprise. That was a big surprise. I don't want to look that far ahead, to Cal. But, yeah, you win this game this week. Like, you've got some great momentum going into week 3, coming back home. Hopefully we get more people in the stands starting to notice the Aztecs, and these guys, are for real. And just keep it going. Keep the momentum going.
Absolutely. Guys, want to thank you for joining the stream. Our episode 278th episode, Sons of Montezuma. Thank you guys for rocking with us this season. It's just started. It's going to have ups and downs, guys, but we're going to be here for the whole ride. We're going to have some road trips, we have some watch parties, and, of course, the tailgates. Want to encourage you guys to be a part of it. San Diego State, only one football team in this city. One city, one team. Hey, got to support all these local guys, all these Southern California guys. It's going to be a fun year, Fiend. I feel it. I'm hopeful.
Me too. It's going to be an exciting month.
All right. Everybody have a great night. I hope you enjoyed your Labor Day. We'll catch you guys next time. Until then, Fiends, sonsofmontezuma.com. Go Aztecs. Let's go.
Peace out. Go Aztecs.